Finding your fit. I want to start today with the most common mistake I see in the franchise evaluation process. No, it's not undercapitalizing, not skipping the FDD, or is it rushing your decision? The most common mistake is starting with the wrong question. Most people walk into the franchise process wondering, what franchise should I buy? That is the wrong question. The right question is, what franchise fits who I actually am? Those are not the same question. The difference between them is the difference between a franchise that builds wealth and one that drains it. Today, I want to give you the complete framework I use to answer the right question. I call it the FIT framework. And after 30 years and thousands of conversations, I can tell you with certainty that every successful franchise owner I've ever worked with had a genuine fit, and almost every failure I've witnessed traces back to the absence of it. Before I tell you what fit is, I want to tell you what it's not, because the franchise industry has done a remarkable job of confusing the two. Fit is not passion. I hear this constantly. Find something you're passionate about. Do what you love. Follow your enthusiasm. And I understand the appeal of that framing. It sounds right. It sounds motivational. But passion for a brand will not save you from a model that doesn't match your operational strengths. Passion for a concept will not sustain you through the difficult early months when hiring is hard and marketing isn't working yet and cash flow isn't where you projected it might be. Passion is not a business model. I've watched people buy beautiful brands they were genuinely excited about and then struggle inside of them because the daily operational reality of running that business didn't align with who they actually were. And I've watched people build generational wealth inside of brands that nobody at a dinner party has ever heard of because the fit was right. The model worked. And they showed up every day doing something they were genuinely wired to do. Fit is not passion. Fit is alignment. And alignment is specific. Fit exists at the intersection of three dimensions: your operational strengths, your financial profile, and your life goals. When a franchise model aligns with all three, that's fit. When it doesn't, no amount of passion or brand enthusiasm or favorable unit economics will make it work long term. Let me walk through each dimension in depth. The first dimension is your operational strengths. And I want to be precise about what I mean here, because it isn't what most people assume. I'm not asking about your resume. I'm not asking about your title or your years of experience. I'm asking about something more fundamental. How are you actually wired to work? Are you energized by managing people or drained by it? There is no wrong answer. It's a critical distinction. A franchise that's built around leading a team of 20 employees is completely different from daily experience of running one that's built around being an owner-operator and executing with a minimal staff. Getting this wrong is expensive. Do you thrive in highly structured systems, or do you need creative latitude? Franchise systems are, by definition, systematic, but some are more rigid than others. Some require strict brand compliance on everything, from customer interaction scripts to the color of your uniforms, while others give franchisees significant operational flexibility. Knowing which environment brings out your best matters enormously. Are you comfortable being the face of the business? Networking, community presence, local marketing, customer relationship building? Or do you prefer to operate behind the scenes? Some franchise models require the owner to be the primary sales and relationship driver. Others are built around systems that generate business without the owner's personal involvement. Both work, but they work for different people. Do you want to be in the field every day, managing operations directly? Or do you want to build a management layer quickly and operate it more strategic, more like a CEO? This is the owner-operator versus semi-absentee question. Both models exist. Neither is better. but they require different strengths and different daily commitments. These are not abstract preference questions. They're operational reality questions, and the answers narrow the field of viable franchise models significantly for any candidate, which is exactly the point. The second dimension is your financial profile. And this goes deeper than most candidates realize. The total investable capital is a starting point, but it's not the whole picture. Runway is equally important. How long can you sustain your current lifestyle, your mortgage, your car payments, your family expenses, everything, without drawing income from the business? 6 months, 12 months, 24. Every franchise has a ramp-up period. Some are 6 months to break even, some are 12 to 18, some are longer. If your financial plan requires a business to produce income on a specific schedule, and that schedule doesn't align with the model's realistic ramp-up, you're going to be in financial stress before you ever get to profitability. That stress affects your decisions. It affects your ability to hire well, market aggressively, and to build the foundation that the business needs. Risk tolerance is the third financial variable, and it's the most personal. Some people can sit with uncertainty and execute calmly through ambiguous early months. Others find uncertainty genuinely debilitating. Neither is a character judgment, but it is an honest assessment that determines which model is most appropriate, which ones will cost you psychologically more than they're worth financially. The fourth and final variable is your household's timeline. Not what you hope the business produces, but what it has to produce for your life to work. That number and that time frame is a hard constraint. Any franchise model that cannot realistically meet it based on the item 19 in the FDD, franchisee validation, and your honest financial modeling isn't the right model regardless of how much you like the brand. The third dimension is your life goals. And I want to be real here. Not the generic life goals that you would tell somebody at a cocktail party. Are you building a job replacement? You left or are leaving a career and you need a business to replicate or exceed the income that your career is producing. That's a legitimate goal. It drives towards specific models, proven, cash flow positive quickly, operationally manageable by one owner or a small team. Are you building a wealth vehicle? You have income from another source or a spouse's career or investments, a part-time consulting practice, and you want this business to build equity over time. That opens up different models, potentially higher investment, longer ramp up, and even bigger upside. Are you building a portfolio? You're thinking from day one about multiple units, multiple brands, the path from level 2 to level 3 to level 4 in Knauf's hierarchy of franchising. That changes everything. The model you start with, the territory you negotiate, the franchise agreement terms that you focus on, the franchisor's attitude toward multi-unit development or even multi-brand development. Are you building something generational, a business that you intend to hand down to your children, or that will just outlast your active involvement? That drives towards legacy models, established categories, strong brand equity, proven resale value. The answer to your life goals question determines your target level on Knauf's hierarchy from day one. And that target level should inform every subsequent decision in the evaluation process. Let me tell you how this plays out in a real conversation. I worked with a candidate, let's call him David, who came to me convinced that he wanted a food franchise. He had grown up in a restaurant family. He loved food. He had eaten at the concept that he was considering hundreds of times. He was a raving fan. He was passionate about it in every way the word is used. We went through the FIT framework. Operationally, David was exceptional at all systems and processes. He had spent 20 years in the supply chain management arena. He was not energized by high volume customer interaction. He preferred back of the house operational control to front of the house relationship building. Financially, he had solid capital, but relatively limited runway. His household needed some income within about 12 months. Life goals. He was building a wealth vehicle, not a lifestyle business. He wanted something scalable towards multiple units, even multiple brands. The food franchise he was passionate about required the owner to be present, customer-facing, and relationship-driven during the critical early growth phase of the business. It had an 18 to 24-month ramp-up to profitability, and its multi-unit development path was constrained by territory limitations in his market. None of those variables aligned with his operational strengths, his financial runway, or his life goals. We found him a B2B service franchise instead. Recurring revenue model, operationally systemic, owner role focused on business development and team management rather than customer-facing service delivery. Break even within 10 to 12 months based on the validation he heard. The multi-unit path was clearly defined and could easily be multi-brand as well. He's since opened 3 units. He has never mentioned the food franchise again. That's what fit looks like in practice. I want to connect this framework explicitly to Knauf's hierarchy of franchising because the two are inseparable. The fit framework doesn't just tell you which franchise to buy. It tells you which level of the hierarchy you're eventually building towards. And that target level should inform the specific model you select. If you're building towards level 2, a single well-run unit that replaces your family income and builds equity, your fit criteria look one way. If you're building to level 3 and 4, a multi-unit, multi-brand portfolio, your fit criteria look completely different. You need a model with proven unit economics, a franchisor who actively supports multi-unit and multi-brand development, territory terms that give you room to grow, and a business that can operate with a management layer so you're not required to be in every location or every brand every day. If you're building towards level 5, the franchise portfolio enterprise, built for institutional acquisition, your fit criteria at entry need to account for what the portfolio looks like at exit. What categories are attractive to private equity? What unit economics support institutional valuation? What does the management infrastructure need to look like in that business? Most people think about fit at the single unit level and never consider how that first decision constrains or enables every subsequent level. I think about fit across the entire hierarchy from the first conversation to the institutional exit. That's the difference between buying a franchise and building an empire. The fit framework: 3 dimensions, operational strengths, financial profile, and life goals. Answer those 3 honestly before you look at a single brand, before you talk to a single franchise or development rep, and before you get excited about a particular concept, and the right franchise becomes much clearer than you think. Chapter 5 of The Last Employee, The Rise of Ownership, goes deep into this framework and the full diagnostic I use with every candidate I work with. That ebook launches on May 1st. In the next episode, The Mistakes That Kill Franchise Deals, Chapter 7, the 7 most expensive errors I've watched franchise buyers make and exactly how to avoid every one. I'm George Knauf, Franchise Investment Strategist, creator of Knauf's Hierarchy of Franchising, founder of Orca Franchising, and author of The Last Employee. This is Franchise Snacks Season 2, Episode 7. Let's go, folks.